Okay, guys, Raw Reunion. How did it go? What happened, guys? And what were my thoughts on the show? I mean, was it good or was it bad? You're going to find out, guys, after this. All right, guys, we're here in the studio. We are currently watching this bloke, Tommy Venum, at Wrestling Mate. That's right, Wrestling Mate. So guys, if you're new here, what we do is we talk about wrestling, all things wrestling. We talk news, rumours, reviews, and I'll also put my insight onto the product and how I would book things or how things should be. Being a former wrestler myself, I have a bit of an insight onto how the business runs and operates. I will say first off, yes, it was great to see some old stars back. Who doesn't love it? You know, Rattlesnake, Hogan, Flair, you know, you're almost your Mount Rushmore of wrestling. There's some great comical spots in there. They had the spot with the Street Profits, the NXT champions, and one of them comes back with the eye drops because he was hanging out with RVD. Pretty funny. If you know RVD, you'd obviously understand. And if you're a hardcore wrestling fan, you are probably tuning into this show. Overall, guys, I'd have to say, although they did get good ratings. They did get good ratings for the show. Not sure if they'll be able to back that up the next week. But the product they delivered, right? So the idea is to boost ratings, right? Now, you might get in that lapsed fan because they're like, oh, okay, Stone Cold's going to be on Monday Night Raw. So I'm definitely going to tune in. So if they're tuning in, this is your chance to grab that lapsed fan and say, hey, look at this product. Wrestling's still cool. We got some good stuff going on here. So what I expected to see out of this show, guys, was to see some Hall of Famers putting over some new, fresh talent or some current talent that WWE are trying to build. Did I see any of that? I seen one instance. Just one instance of that. And of course it was my boy, Mick Foley. Shout out to you, Foles. The hardcore legend. An absolute top bloke if you've ever met him. He put over Bray Wyatt's new gimmick, the FIEND character, which I've already spoken about, guys. There's a link somewhere down there for that. Just click on it, check it out, guys. He put over the FIEND character, which was brilliant, and he was the only legend to put anyone else over. So basically, guys, if you just wanted to see the old stars back, you got to see that. That was great. But what did WWE do for the lapsed fan? They did nothing. If you haven't seen it before, there's nothing to make you tune in the next week and go, oh man, what's the fallout from this? Or, wow, did you see that guy come out and absolutely destroy Stone Cold Steve Austin? Like, this guy is nuts. I'm going to tune in next week. There was nothing like that. And that was so wrong. Like, okay, it doesn't have to be Austin, but, you know, imagine if it was. You know, I like to think of it like this. You know, let's go back to the Attitude Era, right? Say you had a Hall of Famer come out like Rowdy Roddy Piper or Sergeant Slaughter or someone like that, right? They wouldn't have come out and then stole the spotlight off of Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock or The Undertaker. They wouldn't have just jobbed out to them or taken a bump and left the ring. No way, man. That's not happening. Why is it happening now? The booking is just terrible. I mean, who's making these calls? You know, that's what's wrong. That's why the product's not getting over. You're not building your stars enough. I mean, to me, it was just a wasted show as far as improving talent and storyline goes. It was pointless. It really was. Yeah, there's some good spots. Like I said, some good backstage bits, and it was great to see everyone back. But at the end of the day, what's the point in doing that if you're not bettering your product and bringing in older viewers or lapsed viewers or even new viewers, or even bringing in people that are going, hey, who's this Stone Cold character? Or, I mean, that's a stupid example, but you know, who's this RVD? I'm gonna get subscribed to the network, and I'm gonna look his stuff up. What are they doing about that? You know what I mean? There's so many ways they can draw the fans in, and they failed. Because I haven't got the exact numbers in front of me, but I know the Raw rating I think it was 3.6 million. I guarantee you next week's going to be about 2.5, maybe 2.2. They will lose a ton of viewers because the show, it left nothing to build into next week. It didn't improve anyone. Bray Wyatt maybe being the exception. I mean, I love that spot. That was brilliant. And I can tell you, I mentioned this before in my other video, guys, Mick Foley definitely would have fought for that spot. What I found weird, guys, so obviously now the club are called the OC. That's what they're going with now because obviously they couldn't go with the Bullet Club because even though that's where that's originated from, because they've been so creative over the past, 3 or 4 years that all they could come up was, oh, we'll just take Bullet out and it'll be the club. Like, what? So OC apparently is the original club. You're building up this, you've created a new name, the original club, right? So you'd think, hey, we're going to push these guys. I know they're already established stars. DX comes out and just totally buries them. Like, are you serious? Totally buries them. Way to go to push your new club. The original club, the OC. Well done. Just absolute rubbish booking. I could have booked it better myself. Anyways, we won't get into that. The other thing that stood out to me, guys, is that they've either got no stars or they're not being allowed the freedom, which seems to be apparent if you listen to John Moxley's interview with Chris Jericho and a few other stars that have left will tell you that they have very little creative freedom. Man, when Stone Cold come out, that music hit, boom, that place erupted. And he just owned that. His aura, his energy, he was the most charismatic person there. And he totally owned it. Tell you right now, that promo was not scripted. He might have had a few points he had to get in, and he got there, don't worry. That was a lit promo. And it was a great way to finish the show, I have no doubt about that. And it was the only way the show could have finished, really. But in saying that, I mean, how cool would it have been to someone come down? You know, I'm not saying Brock Lesnar because obviously Brock Lesnar doesn't need it, but, you know, for example, maybe a Strowman or, you know, Reigns comes down and spears Austin or something. I don't know. Someone from NXT gets called up and, you know, just cleans. I mean, something, guys. I'm sure Steve would have been down for some kind of beatdown if it was going to progress other talent. I mean, I'm just saying. It doesn't have to be Steve because, let's face it, he is probably one of the best in the business as far as success and fame goes and storylines and just straight up just iconic. The Rattlesnake. But, you know, Mick Foley did the right thing and I love that. But, guys, you've got to do that. I mean, think of Randy Orton, legend killer. Man, he was just killing them. Like, legit. He was, you know, Harley Race, Jake the Snake, Sergeant Slaughter. He would come out and just kick these old guys' asses all the time. But the thing that also caught me about Steve, Austin that is, when he came out, man, that guy's in phenomenal shape. I mean, he looks like he could still go. Obviously, we know he's got his problems with his neck and his back and stuff. But, you know what I mean? Perception is everything. Going to give a grade on this one. I'm going to say, just based on the Legends brought the grade up, all right? Definitely we're looking at probably C+, B-. The show could have been a lot better, but they failed to capitalise on having all those legends in the same spot and building their current crop of talent. But guys, let me know what you thought about Raw Reunion in the comments down below. And like I said, guys, if you're new here, please consider subscribing, hit the like button. This is just a wrestling community. We love to talk about wrestling. Like I said, news, rumours, reviews. I'll give my input, how I would have booked things, etc. And just that insight into the wrestling business, being a former wrestler myself. So that's all I've got for you guys today here on Wrestling Mate. That's right, Wrestling Mate. Please ring the notification bell, guys, so you can get all the notifications for all the killer content that I'm uploading in Australia. That's right, Australia. What? No, man, we're live. I'm almost finished. Seriously. Really. Anyways, guys, I'm going to sign off now. Uru, you bunch of gurus.